Welcome to June, my friend. This is 5 Minutes with Sean, maybe 10 on the 3rd of June. We are cranking this thing off. So, on the show before, we've talked about one price. Today, I don't want to talk about one price. I want to talk about the idea of one person taking care of your entire automotive transaction. Look, I've heard CarMax does it. I got to be honest with you. I've never been in a CarMax. I've been doing this 20 years and never been in one. I don't know if that's what happens. If that's what happens, that's awesome. I know from previous discussions I've had with folks, the Walzer Group in Minnesota, they are trying this approach. I know that my guy in Canada, JP Ostagi, he's working on this very, very same idea. I also know a young lady I just met. See, I've got to go to the phone for this because I've already forgotten her name because I'm a terrible person. Let's see here. Heather Massey out in California, someone I met through Johnny Resurrection a couple weeks ago out in Vegas. She's been doing it on her own recently at her dealership group with crazy mad success. So those of you that aren't aware of the idea, it is I up you, I desk you, I finance you, I deliver you, right? And you probably say to yourself, yeah, right. Well, I think there are a few challenges. One, I think that you need to have expert processes. I mean, just dialed in, documented, everything you could possibly think of as it relates to a process, you're going to want to have for this situation because you're going to have a lot of trust in people to be able to do the job. This typically does happen or can happen in a one-price store situation. It's a lot easier, right? The issue becomes trade. I still would tell people that person can certainly hand the trade appraisal off to someone, but I got to have an appraiser on site. I have to. I can't allow. There's no way. And I'll get to why I'm uncomfortable with finance people doing or salespeople doing finance. But as far as praising cars, can't do it. There has to be an acquisition strategy. There has to then be a retail strategy in mind as we do that. And I don't think it's possible to find someone who is a Swiss Army knife of sales, F&I, used cars. I mean, I think some of that stuff begins to get difficult. And obviously throwing in leases can be difficult, trade-ins, payoffs, etc. But I think it's possible. And honestly, I think it's even more possible given the way that the remote setups are in dealerships. When this would have been about 7 years ago. So before we started CarBiz, we were in talks to take over a dealership group in Milwaukee, a couple of stores, 2 stores. And the discussion was starting to come really to a head because I had a really specific approach, right? I wanted to make this dealership completely digital. I wanted Wi-Fi in every corner of the lot, every part of the shop. I wanted it everywhere because I wanted everyone to have tablets attached to them. They could log customers on the spot. They could scan driver's license. They could do everything right from there. And so then once we had the tablet system working out, I could basically instant message through the tablet the desk number, the trade number, the F&I quote payments. I could do it all, and the salesman could have it all in front of them, right? And then they could just do their deal. So there's still kind of a Wizard of Oz behind this, right? There's still people behind the big gate doing the work, but the customer never feels it, never sees it. I just did my show out in I just did a show out in Vegas. I call it my show because people have been telling me it's more like a stand-up act. But when I was out there, one of the main points I made to people was that waste of time that happens from when a salesperson gets up to go to the desk, and then just the absolute just time suck for everyone. From the time you return back to the time you make a deal, there's all these back and forth, and it's wasted. Remember, today's consumer is as educated and ready to go as we've ever seen in the history of consumers. So the sooner you appreciate that, I think the easier it will be for you to wrap your mind around the idea of a one-person system. But like we've talked about, there are challenges everywhere. I remember that this was something that I wanted to do. This would have been 2003, 2004. It's something that was just kind of made sense to me that if I could have the ability to do it all, then I could save everyone money. Well, I did 1 or 2 deals really well in finance, and it turned out people were like, oh, well, guess what? He belongs to finance, right? So I got moved into finance for what is on record as the worst 9 months of my professional career. I'm not fit for that. I'm not that person. There are people like it. My boy Chris Kasurik is one of those people. He gets it. He sits there all day dealing with bankers and people. So remember, though, they can pencil a deal. There's absolutely no way they're going to get that paper hung. So I need you to consider, even if you're thinking about one price, or one person and one price, for lack of a better word, you need to make sure that approvals can be done again by a back office. In the same way trades have to be done by a back office, that should be done. So what we need to do is we need to eliminate the back and forth. So if you have CRMs, if you have instant messaging in your dealership, test this with the current people you have. This isn't about getting rid of sales manager F&I. This is about streamlining the consumer's experience. That is what I'm after, okay? Because next week on the show, yeah, you guessed it. I already teased him. JP Ostagi from Canada, my guy out in Toronto. We learned it. What was it called? GTA, the Greater Toronto Area. Learned that in Vegas. Thank you very much to my Canadian friends for that. He's going to be on the show, and he's going to talk to you about what he's doing in this world and why he thinks it's super important to the future. You are definitely going to want to tune in to see how they do business north of the border, my friends. So anyhow, please do me a favor. Text me, let me know what you think. 262-278-0157. Email me, Sean@carbizdonebetter.com. LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere you find podcasts, you will get the audio version of this. If you haven't seen it before, go to the YouTube channel, check us out. We got all of them. This is coming up on like 90 episodes of this show. It's a lot of fun, guys. Thank you guys so much, and go out and have a wonderful start to your June.